Hi, my name is Renee Tapia. I live in Potomac Estate Parks. Um, I came here um, in a result of a tragedy that I had in 2020. Um, I became homeless, and it wasn't because I let my life go or anything. At the time I was living with a boyfriend. I cooked and cleaned for him, and I had two jobs. When 2020 hit, my mind probably wasn't in the right place. I was doomsday prepping, not knowing. It was very scary times. I'm sure everybody remembers. I was uh, preparing for the worst, and I put a lot of money into canned foods and buying chickens, and we had a big, beautiful house. Well, um, to my surprise, my boyfriend told me that since I didn't have my income coming in, that I was useless to him. So he sent me off on my own. That was a crazy kick. But my life has always been in survival. I've traveled around, and I've been in this area for maybe 15 years now. That's just a little backstory. So after he kicked me out, I got blessed with all this money coming back from me from my two jobs. Um, and I knew exactly what I wanted to do with it. I wanted to buy a piece of land so I would never face having to be homeless again. And when I found this spot, I live here, Wisconsin Lane. I got this beautiful patch of woods and gorgeous view. Um, this was my dream. It was everything I wanted to be. I wanted to be self-sufficient, away from the city. Um, uh, just just to be on my own, you know. Then neighbors started to move in, and I started to realize that back here in this little tooth gap of Berkeley County, this little gem here, it's a place for people who belong in the woods. Got it's very primitive living, different than what suburbia would be like. With that being said, this I don't even know if we call it a neighborhood because there's not houses. You know, I've seen people live in Rubbermaid storage bins. It's probably one of the last lands that doesn't have HOA. It's no restrictions. So with no restrictions, we in my parts, I don't know, we're pretty primal, animalistic, and I feel like we got a piece of land that it's a darker place. I feel like maybe some wars have gone on here. I don't know the story, but it's a very hostile environment. I like to keep to myself. I learned very early that I don't want to talk to my neighbors. I've tried that, and then the next thing you know, you offended somebody, and things are just uh, uncomfortable. So most of you have heard we had a big buzz about the Maryland man accused of forging signatures to steal over. Well, it says 130 properties, but it's more 140. I made a video earlier, and I have been I've been summoned to court by the man who was accused. He wants to sue me for $10,000 because I won't let him enjoy the land that he had put in his name right next to me. We'll get into that story a little bit later, but this land was supposed to be mine, and I was pissed. And I knew coming and making this video, and I still feel like I would be at risk of making things worse by, stirring the bucket. But as I'm preparing for court, I want to bring attention to this, and just so people can see what's going on. I feel, looking through the man's records, here's some of them. I keep finding other records here and there that are not public in the magistrate court, but there's quite a few, and you won't probably be interested in all this, so I won't really go over it, but it's enough to say that the man, he is has some violent tendencies. It seems like he's unpredictable. Uh, he probably belongs out in the woods, because anytime he goes up to the city, he gets in trouble. And I know he gets bored a lot, and that's when he'll come start trouble with me.
That's Will, right there. I don't know what he's doing. I think he's messing with the septic pipe. We're in the middle of refurbishing this, so there's an opening there where he had walked in and surprised the people living in there. They did not like that because she was naked when he walked in without knocking. Doors open.
Well, what are you doing back there? No, you're not looking around. Get out of here. Go. This is not your land. This is my land. Get out of here. This is not your land. You're still in an argument with the other guy. Go. Go. You're not supposed to be here. You're going to wait for them to leave for you to fucking... Get out of here now. No, I'm calling the cops. I'm calling the fucking cops. You can record me all you want. I don't know what show to accomplish. Get out of here. Call the cops. Get out of here. Call the cops or shoot me. You're not going to shoot me. I'm just taking this video to document the things. And how Renee here has erased property line that I put on the ground. Get out of here. Doors up. Sneaking around here.
I wish I had the video.
The fuck off my property.
Of him drawing spray paint all over my belongings across everything. He's just a menace. He's been bugging me. This is originally owned the land. He wanted this to go to me, and before Robert died, the last time I seen him, which Robert was a friend of mine, he was holding Will at gunpoint. Will smashed his window when Robert was turning around from my house. Up until he died, they've been battling about this land that Will stole from him.
I have no restraining orders on him. It didn't start out this way. Before we were friends, when we were friends, things were pretty good. We looked out for each other. I knew when I was going through hard times, he would come over and cook for me and keep me company because there's not much to do out here. I don't have TV. Um, we have a fire for entertainment. Um, we sit around the fire and talk. So I can't say it all started out bad, but we got in a fight about $200, and I guess it's not worth mentioning the story there. He thinks I tried to rip him off, and I think he tried to rip me off. And I mean, I'll tell you, he tried to rip me off, but he'll tell you that I tried to rip him off. So it's all hearsay. Um, I am now a nervous smoker, and what brought me to smoking is the stress of having to be the guy that lives right next to the guy. I feel like I'm really taking one for the team here with the neighbors because he's a pain in my ass. I hate when he's coming around to taunt me, sticking his nose, coming on my property and starting trouble. I just try to live my life, and it got to the point where the drama had gotten so bad that the new boyfriend that I had, I brought in a boyfriend to help me around here because there's a lot to do here. When I bought this property, it was dumping grounds. I had a lot to clean up. It was a lot of work. I have chickens. You could probably hear the rooster. Well, they're probably crowing. It's late, but I can't sleep, so I thought I'd make this video to bring attention to this. And I don't. My first video, I have all these research that I've been doing, and I was a pissed off woman, but I have travelers. They come and they stay here, and sometimes it's a barter. Sometimes my travelers don't have any money; they just need a place to go, and they look out for me. And I really needed that because my situation here has gotten out of control, real bad. Like I said, it got so out of control that the partner that I had, he had it. He had enough, and he basically said, "Renee, this is your land. This is your problem. I'm not dealing with this." And the man that I love, I felt I would have done anything for. I seen him just turn his back on me, and this was the man I wanted to marry. And I felt like, as good as I was to him, that for him to leave under pressure like that so easily, it tore my world apart. And that's when I started smoking and stress, and it sent my world upside down. I went into a very bad depression where I wasn't on top of the land. I just wanted to stay in bed and just disintegrate and not exist anymore. That's when things got really worse. I had become a target. I was a single woman. There was a man who moved into the property right behind me, which is in this direction. Will lives back here in this direction, so I had them on each side of me. Well, monkey see, monkey do. Will's over here, causing a ruckus. The guy sees an easy target. The guy, he has dirty sleeves, dirty tricks up his sleeve, and he hired his friend who was not a legit surveyor.
Okay. So he's saying he owns this lot, this lot, and this lot. Okay. Well, we found the one on the end. Okay. And it's 40 feet. So that's 160. That takes me to here.
Can I have your car, please?
Oh, yeah. I'll have to get one out of my trunk and I can give you. Yeah, we work for Andy DeMagno in Martinsburg. Let me just write you on a piece of paper here. You calling? Or you want the card? I'll get you a card.
I need a business card. Let's see who you are and find out.
Right. I mean, there's not much I can do. I mean, they're here, so. I mean, you could always contest it. I mean, you could do that. I wouldn't recommend it.
And they took over. You can see where they're starting to develop. They're moving right here on my land. They took pretty much a lot and a half. But before he did that, he asked me how much I would sell my land for. Well, this is all I have. This is everything I have. Without it, I have nowhere to go. So I told him the price, what it would take me to afford a new piece of land, and he didn't like that. He says, oh, that's not worth that. How much to rent? And I was like, well, I don't rent my lot out, but if you want, I guess, if you want like a camper of, 40 by 30s lot, $400 a month. And he laughed at it, and he ended up just taking it. And this man, I don't think he's illegal here. He barely speaks English.
I haven't even contacted my surveyor yet. What if it's my land? How do you know that this is your land?
Hey. No, remember yesterday?
Yeah, but I haven't even contacted my surveyor yet.
No. Listen. No, it's a lot of big problem, nothing. Look. It is 120, 160.
From there, no.
You wanna the meter? Yeah.
No, I need to talk to my surveyor first. This could be my land that you guys are already chopping down my trees. I need to get my surveyor. Just make sure.
Me paid yesterday. Me no play. Me paid $2,000 for how much my
Yeah, I know. Now I have to do it. Yeah, I went to the courthouse and they said that your guy is not licensed to be a surveyor.
The problem is right now, I need my property.
Okay, but this may be my property. We're not sure yet. Well, I have to make sure.
We have a paper.
I just had a talk with them. I told them that this may not be their property, but they're still continuing to cut down the trees. I want to say that they cut down the one right behind the camera. This one has my camera on it. I'm going to courthouse. Hopefully it's there when I get back. I'm just pulling in now, and this thing is right behind my house, meaning trees have been cut down for them to be there. My dog is probably terrified in there. I'm taking this as an intimidation tactic. Okay, my dog is barking. You can tell he's scared. What is this lady doing? Yeah? What is that? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know if you're not. You can see what it is. We wanted to know if you wanted to sell your lots. Okay. Just if you wanted to sell them. Okay. And if you would do that price, if not, what price would you do? I already talked to his guy about it. And but I need to get a lawyer first before I even. All right, well, I might just take that back then. Well, no, let me see what it says. You want this paper back? Yeah. Here you go. No, not 5,000 for a lot, no. But I think this mark is actually the marker that starts my lots 4 and 5 that they have mistaken, but they are very aggressive now, just putting things on my land. And it looks like they put, and I wasn't aware that they came here and tied this, so they're going beyond my fence. And it looks like they're continuing to put this fence, and they're most likely aggressively going to put their fence through mine. There's a post. They're just making themselves very comfortable on my land, chopping down trees. Post. What else have they done? Yeah, right behind my house. See this? There's also, I just stopped the camera, but they're right back here, and that's probably terrifying to my dog to hear them. Okay, this is a post. They're coming right in through here. Can you believe this? My house is right here. Okay, they're just gonna knock down my fence. Really, to put up your fucking... Knocking down my fence to put up... This is the third time around. He's not doing anything with it, just running it right outside the window. Yeah, I think they're just toying with me. I asked them not to chop down my trees yesterday. I told them I need a couple of days so I can get legal advice. So, not to chop down my trees. Chopping them down anyways. I'm building a fence around my house to kick down my fence so they can put theirs up. I have to go to the bathroom really bad, and I can't leave here. I'm afraid to. These guys do not have permission to be on my property. I'm afraid to tell them. There's a video that they're taking the dirt from the hill I live on and they're relocating it down the path. I don't know if they bought another land down the way or if they're just illegally claiming the land. I haven't had a chance to seek a lawyer yet, or wait till my next paycheck so I can get a surveyor. They absolutely did not waste time. They can make them pay me back the trees, but what about all the dirt they're taking from me? So far it's been 3 days, load after load. I'm not happy about it. I don't want land that's going to have rain fall into it. Okay, the neighbor has his fence in place already, and a shed. Over here there is a mile marker. That's probably looking more legit. Please stop letting your dog shit on my land. Can you get off my land, please? Okay, but it says my dog that he's peeing on everything.
He started moving in right away. He had around 8 men each day for 2 months, and they were starting to chop down the trees. And I didn't have money for a surveyor to prove that it was my land. I don't have money for a lawyer, so I'm pretty much representing myself. And I have reached out to the other victims because I know I'm not the only one. A lot of people are suffering with this, and there's nothing they can do. To jump to another story real quick, there is one person that I had talked to in this neighborhood. He's a pretty nice guy. He lived here since he was a young child, and he built his house here with his father, and his father's no longer living. Well, he got a visit from Will one day. Will's knocking on his door and says, "Hey, I own this piece of land now. You're gonna have to go." And he says, "No." Well, he calls the cops, and I don't know if he was frantic or not, but the story that I heard was the cops told him, "If you don't shut up, you're going to jail." And he was helpless. And he, man, I think Will left him alone because he's still living in his house. But that ain't right. And I realized Will is a very smooth talker, and I've connected some dots now. I probably won't get into that now, but I was baffled that he would come over here and start a drama. I've had problems with him with his dogs. He has 4 pit bulls, starting trouble with my dog, trying to rile him up. And my dog is my protector. So a part of the $10,000 he's suing me for is not letting him enjoy the land he put in his name, and for my dog acting a fool on my property. We went to court, and he didn't win because he didn't have any evidence, and he's bringing me back to court. The second time, after seeing his records, I've noticed that he's such a smooth talker that anything he's gone to court for is dismissed. No jail time. Maybe, I know next to us, our neighbors, Martinsburgs, they got a lot of characters out there too, so I'm pretty sure they're busy. I don't think that these judges have been looking at closely enough at his records to know that all he's getting is smack on the wrist. But I think that if you're accused by so many people that you're taking their lots without permission, and 140, how are we going to leave it at accused? Shouldn't they look into this and actually see what's going on instead of dismissing it? This is the part where I was fired up in my last video, and after talking to a good friend of mine who's calmed me down, I decided to just ask for a little bit of attention, and I would like to ask the court to please look into this. I don't care if you throw him in jail, if you don't throw him in jail. Can we just make it right and give the land back to the people, because I'm pretty sure that he can't prove everybody's signature. Or I know I have a whole booklet of proof of how this land was to be mine. Back when I first moved here, I met the man who owned the land next to me. He was happy that I started cleaning up not only my area, but all the trash in the woods next to me, which was his property. And we had an agreement that if I keep taking care of his land, don't cut down no trees, that I could have use for it. We went and got it notarized, and in the agreement that when he's ready to go, that all these plots of land would be mine. And Will was aware of this, because I remember coming and telling him the news. I was excited, you know, that was a great opportunity. It wasn't till after we got into the disagreement that the land next to me he took. There was one, and it was the one right next to my window. They're attached, and with Will being unpredictable and having the record that he has, I don't feel comfortable with him living that close to me. I don't think we should be anywhere near each other. It's dangerous. Before I calmed down, recollected, and restarted my video, I felt like this is a war that is going to end in somebody's death, you know, because I don't know if I went online and I stated my story, and he has a female avatar that he argues with everybody to protect himself behind a different face, and it's a little silly, but that's how. Anyway, so I said what I had to say, and I said some things that I'm not entirely sure that they're true, but it would make sense. And that made him mad, and I could feel his energy. I knew I pissed him off for coming forth, but I don't know what to do. Anytime he's trespassing on my land, it's bad where he's walking into my campers. One time he walked into a camper, and I had brought in some, not strangers, but some travelers who had no place to go. I brought them in, and he walked in on the camper, probably not knowing that there was anybody in there, but it was a boyfriend and a girlfriend, and the girl was not dressed, and that started a whole feud between them. So at this time, I, still depressed, I knew I needed to get out. I was having a mental meltdown, having the land over here stolen from me, and Will stealing this land, and they're just completely taking advantage of me. I went out of town for a while, and the whole time that I was out of town, Will kept coming by and pestering them, and I do have some video footage. I'll share a little bit of that, just so you can see what's going on in my world, what I'm dealing with.
Well, and then he came there and he like looked out and he was just step out. He saw me right here and then walked back in. Then he came back out. I was like, what the fuck is he up to? He started pushing something up underneath. Well, you're not supposed to be on my property. You're obviously up to something if you're in my parts. I can see you. I'm not blind. I can see you. I mean, you're kind of being nosy. Like, you're walking down here. Why?
Why are you walking around the property?
Stay away from me. I know, stay the fuck away.
Can you, like, you just got a trespassing fee. Because, like, bro, you're walking back and forth over here. Like, what else are we supposed to think?
No, stay the fuck away. I'm telling you. Alright, this is my land. You can't come and say all this.
I can call the cops and you can have another no trespassing fee because we're asking you to get off the property. This is still technically the property. No, we do not. Ruger, leave it. We're asking you to leave the property. Ruger! Of course we're going to assume shit because you called the cops on us before. Well, we have a contract with the original landowner. And Renee has a contract with the original landowner. She literally has a piece of paper that has their social securities, has her name and everything legalized by Berkeley County. And I have proof of it. I don't want to go anywhere near you. You were caught trespassing in the camper a couple of days ago. Yes, you were. She has video of it. She has video of it. I mean, she showed it to the police. Then who was it? Because we weren't home. Then who was it? Who was in the camper then? Because we weren't home. I didn't say I have video of it. I was not in your fucking camper. I'm not going in the camper. I don't want this to be a whole issue. Can you just mind your own business? We'll mind our own business. Leave it at that. Like, that's all I'm asking. Okay, because of course I'm going to ask you if you had an issue. I just asked you if you had an issue. That is all.
We just asked if you had an issue. That's all. I'm trying to be respectful, all right? I understand that. You too. Don't put any more signs up on the tree. Oh, I can't if I want to. That's my protection. Really? That's my way of getting you to get the fuck out. Really?
As well, dealing with events such as that. The other neighbor, when he started hauling off my trees, he didn't give me no notice. He put up a fence, and this fence was so disrespectful that he cut it right and attached it to my house where I sleep, my dwelling. And these 8 workers, they had me scared one time because I didn't know what they're saying in Spanish, but they were laughing. They were revving their chainsaws. They were trying to intimidate me to try to get me to leave my property so they can take it all. And I do have footage of that. I was so scared. And I know with Will, calling the cops on me, cops think that I am the aggressor, smooth talker. I had no help. The cops wouldn't help me with Will. The cops wouldn't help me with Alfredo. I had to call the cops one time because while they were building the fence on my house and taunting me, I was afraid to go walk to my camper so I can go to the bathroom. I had to get a cop to come here and just relieve me so I can go to the bathroom, and it seemed like it took forever while they were out there with their chainsaws taunting me. I was afraid that my dog would, I was afraid about my dog because I eventually had to leave to go to the courthouse to see what I could do. I didn't have money for a lawyer. The man who I think is illegal, he also runs an illegal tow truck scrapyard. He just started taking over the woods. If you look behind my house, there's a junkyard back there now. Pretty much they do whatever they please. They get drunk, they have music, right against my house. My house rattles when they have their music, and they taunt my dog. They shoot off guns, and that's terrifying because you don't know when they're going to shoot it off, and you get the jump scare. And they haven't personally harmed me, but they've done some mental damage to me, because I don't know how worse it's going to get. They completely had me docile, and that is not my character at all. I used to be very outgoing, and I had to be quiet. I had no help. This is my struggle to bear alone. They got away with a lot. It hurts because the man became a friend of mine. He used to come over to my house. I gave him my word that I would not chop down trees. So when these guys are chopping down my trees, it's making me betray. It's maybe I was a crazy person of the woods. Nobody wants to think they're the crazy person of the woods, but I have to, whatever I was doing, I would have to run out and yell at people to stop cutting down my trees. Letting their dogs chase my chickens. They were stealing my chickens, the little baby chickens that I raised and hand fed. Which I wish I didn't do that because they trusted people enough for my nicest chickens that I handled most. Trusted both of my neighbors. They each stole a chicken. My chicken is still in a cage there. He disappeared because I try to have people come in and help me, and I think he's afraid that I'm going to call the immigration on him. And which I have not done. A lot of people suggested I should, but I would like to see what the court has to say first. He stole all my dirt. I paid a lot of money. This is my work. I craft in here. This is how I make my money. I craft. I buy and sell on the marketplace. Well, I paid a lot of money to have a flat surface. Well, when they started taking all the dirt, selling it off for 2 weeks, just taking all the dirt, trees, selling it, I now am leaning like this. I had to jam my wheels so I don't slide that way, while I'm working at my desk here. They didn't put a retaining wall in, and now I have some quotes, how much it's going to cost me. It's going to cost me just as much as it would cost a lawyer. My life is just being shredded apart by them, and I know with them teaming up together, if they took everything from me, that it's going to be the next neighbor when they're bored here. If I don't speak up, nobody will. I've reached out to the neighbors. There is a group, and I reached out to who wants to help me, claim our land back. And I think they've already looked at his records, and they don't want to mess with it. So I'm by myself. I'm taking a huge risk, showing my face and giving my testimony on what I'm going through. And I know these people, this is a hard work. You got to work hard to buy land. It's not easy living in today's society. This is my whole life. This is everything I have. And I made the decision that if they're just going to take my life, they might as well take my life. So damned if I do, damned if I don't. There has been people in my neighborhood who have died, murdered, and I won't go into that, but I know that I am taking the risk of disappearing after this. So but I felt it going that way anyways. Now that I've calmed down, like I said, it's not revenge anymore. It's not, I just want my land back. I'm going to call it a loss. All the work I put here, and I want to sell it, and I want to be out of here because this neighborhood and how I'm being treated here by my two neighbors on each side of me, it's held me back emotionally, mentally, financially. It has been awful. To swallow my pride when I hear them digging in my yard, or, cutting down my trees or taunting my dog, it got to the point where I know I couldn't call the cops. I'm on my own. There was nobody I could reach out to. I went to the courthouse. I got the runaround. When I mentioned the land being taken from me, that's when I discovered that there was more people going to the courthouse with the same issues, and they're not doing anything about it. Like I said, I just want to be able to collect what I work for, just so I can afford to get out of here. I'm tired of being stuck in this hole. I'm tired of being afraid of walking out to feed my chickens, and that could be my last. I don't know if someone's going to drive by and just shoot me as I'm trying to feed my chickens. I have to question when I go out to the bathroom, is it really worth it? This could be the day that I get shot in the head.
Already, then he's got every right to put a bullet in your head as far as I see. Honestly, the way she's talked, the things she has said, most people would have put one in her head for it. The things she said and the stuff she's done. So, I'm not about to, but
And after this video is out, it's only going to get worse for me. So I have court that I have to defend myself by myself without a lawyer to try not to get sued by the man accused of taking the land. And now that I'm speaking out, I'm sure my neighbors will see this. I know you guys didn't want anything to do with this before, but I sure could use help and have people come out and just say that they didn't sell their land to Will like they